I think a lot of people lose their shit when it comes to body count, especially men these days. I don't want a girl who's ran. The reason why you have that revulsion, like again, like nobody wants a town bicycle. Like there's I don't say a slut, but there's a hesitation, let's say, for a woman who has had a lot of partners before. Why is that? Well, there's two reasons. One is, again, parental uncertainty. Like I was saying before, you don't know if the kid comes out of that baby, that baby is yours. That's why women slut shame more than men do, because it's a disqualification from the sexual marketplace. Only sluts wear stuff like that. You like her? That's the shaming of the men, right? But the shaming of the women, the slut shaming of the women, is essentially a combat tactic. It's an intersexual combat strategy that disqualifies women from the sexual marketplace. How? Well, only women who wear those red dresses and those kind of high heels and and black tape, they're all sluts. Okay. Well, if you call a woman a slut, you're essentially saying, men, this woman should not be in the running for your consideration for future reproduction, because you don't know that the baby's going to be yours because she sleeps around. So she runs a high risk. You're running a high risk that if you fall in love with her, or you put your her, that the baby might not be yours, and you might be taking care of a child for the rest of your life because she tricked you into thinking that the baby was yours. That's all of that is entailed in one word: slut. And so when women slut shame, it's the proposition of first of all disqualifying her from the consideration of men, and then it's also to remove her as a competitor. And it's usually very good looking hot pieces of ass that women go, women dress like that are sluts. I would never dress like that. Yeah, because you're not sexy and you're fat, so you call that chick a slut to try to disqualify her and then to qualify yourself. I would know, if you have sex with me, the baby is almost guaranteed to be yours. Yeah, because you're fat and you don't have any sexual opportunities. I'm sure you'd be a great lay too, because fat chicks try harder. So that's number one. And then number two is the idea of body count for men is that not only is the possibility that the baby's not yours, but it's also paternity concerns, but also the fact that if that woman has had many men in her past, one of those guys is highly likely to have made an impact on her, and she still pines for that guy today. That's being an alpha widow. Like the guy who made the most impactful emotional connection, whether that's through because he had a or because he was in love with her, or maybe it was her first lay or her first kiss, whatever it is. The guy that made the biggest alpha impression on her is the one that she keeps coming back to. Now, here's where he fundamentally misunderstands all of this. Okay. They say, we asked these girls if they fantasized about these guys. No woman is going to fucking admit to that, first of all. And even when they do, they're trying to keep it private, or they're downplaying it, or they're still dealing with cognitive dissonance. Because if they're with one guy and they've been with other men before, then you get situations like this. This is why this is offensive. And this is really where this came from. And I'm pretty sure this is why he decided to do some hacked out fucking cock and bull study on this. I think I destroyed our relationship. This was from last week, by the way. This has been making the rounds, and it officially went viral. Trying to compliment my boyfriend. My boyfriend and I are both 28 years old. She is in the epiphany phase, firmly in the epiphany phase. Together for 2.5 years. Yesterday night, we were drinking, and one thing led to another. And I tried to compliment him by saying he's not someone who I would hook up with or be friends with benefits with, but I would marry him. Ergo, he is dad, not cad, right? I thought everything was fine, but he seemed extremely distraught after that, which he should. I realized how he understood it and tried to clarify, but he is still the same this morning. He told me he needs time to think. I would love to know what the follow-up is if this guy just like bolted on all of this. All my friends tell me I messed up, and guys tell me it's not a compliment, and most men understand it's different. Most men will understand it differently. I think I destroyed our relationship, and I am panicking right now, as you should be panicking. Now, why would she be panicking in the first place? Why would this have anything to do with anything? Well, the reason for this is because of the dual mating strategy. Okay, not because of mate shifting, because the because dual mating strategy is a more comprehensive strategy and a more comprehensive way of understanding women's innate sexual mating strategies, right? So she's already with the guy. She's not trading up or anything like that. She fucked up because she admitted she said the silent parts out loud. Well, the reason for this is you can say, well, you're nothing like the guys that I was fucking as friends with benefits. You're nothing like the guys who I had one night stands with. You're nothing like the guys who I didn't make through jump through hoops or would have been like good. They wouldn't have been good dads. You're a great dad. And that's how you get shit like this, right? Like, which one of these guys is the one you want you want in your backfield, right? Do you want Marcus? Do you want Deshaun? Do you want Melvin at 42 or do you want Chris at 40, right? There's going to be people who are going to go, I would want Chris at 40, right? No, the guy that she's talking about is Marcus. The guy she wants you to be is Chris. Just throwing that one out there. But again, the guy that she wants to be the kind of guy that she marries is essentially the guy she would have friend zoned when she was with the guys who are her friends with benefits. And I wanted to make this, I didn't make this clear enough when I was on the show last week, but the reason why guys get upset about this is because the likelihood, if a woman has a high body count, the likelihood that that one of those guys, let's just say she has 10, the likelihood is more increased because the pool is bigger, right? The likelihood that one of those guys in 10 is going to be a guy that she's still pining for, or was the best sex she ever had, or he fucked me this way, or he took me to fucking Paris. He did this for me, and this guy can't do that, but he's going to love me, and he's really going to like be a good dad for my children, right? Essentially, what a woman is doing in that situation is she's convincing herself that it's okay to marry a guy who she would have friend zoned just 4 years or 5 years earlier. So that is, you want to know why he bugs out as well? First of all, because guys like me are showing these guys the truth of the matter. We're red pill men have been, you want to know why they want to silence us? You want to know why they want to turn us into criminals in the UK? It's because we're revealing the game like this. And that's why the guys like this walk out, as they should, as I said, because this guy is avoiding what I've called a friend zoned marriage. She got the guys that women would friend zone at 22, 23 turn into the guys she wants to marry when she's 30, 31. How do I know this? Well, I can show you this right here. Just again, this is anecdotal, but I'm going to show you a few other things here. I only friend zoned you because you're too perfect. That makes no sense. You'd make a better husband than a boyfriend, and I want to keep you around until the time was right. If we ever dated and broke up, I'd hate to lose you forever. All girls keep the good ones around until the time is right. You know when the time is right? When they're done fucking the guys who are the friends with benefit guys and the same night lay guys. I want to fuck the translation. I want to fuck douchebags and bad boys, but when I start getting uglier, I want you around to start a family with. That's the basis of this. And that, by the way, is also the basis of the alpha widow dynamic. Just because that woman is saying, oh, I have never held fantasies for anybody that I've known. Remember, when I wrote the alpha widow dynamic, I also inserted this other part of it too as well, is that there doesn't even have to be a guy. There doesn't even have to be someone in the backfield. It could be the fantasy of that guy, the fantasy lover. In fact, I would almost argue that most women subscribe to that fantasy guy, like Jason Momoa, right? She's not going to see Aquaman because she's a fan of the DC comic book character. She's going to see Jason Momoa because he's hot and she's the kind of guy that looks like the dude that's on the cover of the romance novel she's been reading since she was 13 fucking years old. And by the way, if you want, you don't need a data set like this fucking poll here. You don't need any of that. You know, all you need is you just need the last 200 years of romance novels.
Fabio.
Because every single fucking one of those formulaic stories follows the same dynamic, the same alpha widow dynamic. From Emily Bronte to Jane Eyre to everything in fucking in between, to Titanic, for fuck's sake. The greatest love story ever told is an alpha widow fucking story. How do I need a fucking study to prove that to you? what was it? What was it? Rose at the very end of fucking Titanic. 5 minutes of alpha trumps 5 years of beta. Okay. Jack is the guy she can't fucking get over. You know, what's the other song by Katy Perry? The One That Got Away.
The One That Got Away.
The One That Got Away. There's your fucking study. The greatest love story ever told, which, by the way, is the same love story that's been told since Emily Bronte and the rest of these fucking chicks, right? Telling the same thing. Do I get with the hot guy who's the pauper, or do I fuck the guy who's got a lot of money? Beauty and the Beast. She falls in love with the beast, not the fucking prince. There's your alpha widow. The dynamic, anyways. Okay, what does Rose do at the end of fucking Titanic? Use this. I love that. I've used this before so many times. I've even put it in one book. It's this sweeping panoramic, the end scene, and it's like all of these pictures. She brought these along with her on the fucking tour boat or whatever because she's rich enough to do something like this, because she spent her life doing English horse riding, and she was practically fucking Amelia Earhart, and she flew planes with Howard Hughes or some shit like that. She went and was a whack in the army or something like that, and had done all this other stuff and had this fabulous life. And there's grandchildren, and there's the husband who she married that wasn't Jack, who's dead at the bottom of the fucking ocean. There's no heart, there's no diamond. That, by the way, that big old diamond, the heart of the sea that she has, that she lets slip into the fucking thing at the end, that doesn't go to the dude who provided the life for her. It goes to the fucking 14, 15, 16-year-old that she fucked once on the Titanic. At the bottom of the fucking ocean. Congratulations. There's your formula for the greatest love story ever told. Boom. Bye-bye. Go fuck yourself with your fucking, dirt noise stats. Oh, we pulled these girls. Of course you did. It's funny. I wonder how many of the girls he pulled actually loved Titanic and cried at the end of it. You know what? That should have been a fucking, add that to the next questionnaire, Alex. Did you cry at the end of Titanic? I think that's a better indication than, are you still pining for or how's this? Do you find it romantic if a woman or a girlfriend is pining for another guy, or for the one that got away? I mean, in this case, Jack dead at the bottom of the ocean is literally is dead. So therefore, maybe the widow part is a little more literal. It blows me away that we just don't look for what you're supposed to be experimenting it for. This is bad fucking methodology. Again, our team, who's your fucking team? What are you looking for? Do you even understand the dynamic? Clearly not. The reason why, I remember that. I remember it was 1997. It won Best Fucking Picture. It won Best Picture. The greatest love story of the whole world is based on fucking an alpha widow.
One of the biggest box office. Like,
wow, but do I really need to give you another more stronger data than that? It's unfucking believable. It's more than a man can take.